The concept of the curiosity shop dates back to the 16th and 17th centuries, and it emerged from the fascination with collecting rare, strange, and often bizarre objects. These shops were closely related to the concept of cabinets of curiosities, private collections of oddities that belonged to wealthy collectors, scientists, and intellectuals of the time. The objects within these cabinets range from preserved animals and fossils to exotic artifacts, seashells, and even pieces of the supernatural or occult. It was a time of great exploration, with European traders and explorers bringing back odd objects from their travels, and curiosity shops became the place where these treasures were displayed and sold. As time went on, curiosity shops evolved, particularly during the Victorian era. The growing interest in the supernatural and the occult, combined with the rise of scientific discovery, made the late 19th century a prime time for these types of stores. In London, particularly in areas like Covent Garden and Piccadilly, curiosity shops flourished. They became known for selling everything from human bones and Egyptian mummies to mystic books, witchcraft items, and bizarre artifacts. These shops were a place where people could marvel at the strange and unusual, from anatomical specimens to taxidermy, and even occult rituals. Curiosity shops were not only stores but also spaces of fascination and intrigue. Visitors could find a mix of the educational and the eerie. The items sold were often both a conversation piece and a form of entertainment for those intrigued by the unknown. In these shops, the odd and the macabre were celebrated, and patrons could see and even buy things that seemed to defy logic or imagination. The fascination with such shops continued to grow during the Victorian period, when death, decay, and the unknown were central themes in both popular culture and intellectual thought. In the modern era, curiosity shops have continued to thrive in various forms, albeit with a more specific focus on antiques, oddities, and sometimes horror memorabilia. Many of these shops still sell taxidermy, vintage medical instruments, occult books, and strange pieces of art, maintaining the spirit of wonder and the unsettling fascination that characterized the original curiosity shops. However, today's curiosity shops also appeal to fans of steampunk, gothic aesthetics, and macabre art. The modern shop is less about academic curiosity and more about artistic expression and a sense of dark, eerie nostalgia. Some curiosity shops, such as the Last Tuesday Society in London, have become immersive experiences where patrons not only shop for strange and unusual items, but also engage with performances, art galleries, and interactive events. These stores cater to those who are drawn to the darker side of history, art, and the supernatural, offering a place where the strange is celebrated rather than hidden away. They serve as a living reminder of a time when the world was full of mysteries and the unknown, and a curiosity shop was the gateway to the strange and unsettling corners of human history and imagination. The allure of curiosity shops lies in their promise of discovery, the thrill of finding something unexpected, the awe of encountering the strange and eerie. These shops have always offered a window into a world where wonder and unease go hand in hand. Whether it's through the preserved body of a rare animal, the pages of a forgotten book, or the gaze of a mounted skull, curiosity shops evoke a sense of wonder at the strange, the mysterious, and the unsettling. They offer a space where the normal world is left behind and the extraordinary takes center stage, offering a glimpse into the macabre, the bizarre, and the wondrous. The fascination with these shops continues because they represent a space where curiosity, history, and the uncanny can meet, just as they did hundreds of years ago. Number 2. Art gallery and exhibitions. An art gallery is more than just a place to view art. It is a space that fosters the dialogue between artists, their work, and the public. It is a realm where creativity is not only displayed, but also celebrated, questioned, and appreciated. The history of art galleries can be traced back to the Renaissance, when private collections of art were first made available to the public. These early galleries were often the private collections of wealthy individuals or royalty, whose passion for art inspired the display of their works to a broader audience. Over time, galleries began to evolve into public spaces, offering art exhibitions that were open to anyone with a thirst for cultural enrichment. During the 19th century, especially in Europe, The development of public art galleries and exhibitions took off, driven by the rise of museums and cultural institutions. Galleries became centers for intellectual exchange, where artists, critics, and visitors could come together to engage with new ideas, experiment with forms, and showcase various styles, from classical realism to avant-garde modernism. As society shifted into the 20th century, art exhibitions began to diversify in scope, embracing a range of media and practices. These exhibitions began to reflect the changing world, from the horrors of war to the exploration of identity, societal norms, and the digital age. Some exhibitions became platforms for controversial pieces that challenged traditional art forms, while others celebrated the mainstream or iconic works that represented the heights of artistic achievement. Today, art galleries and exhibitions are not confined to any one genre. The world of contemporary art has expanded to include installations, digital art, interactive experiences, and more, allowing for a wider range of expression. Art exhibitions, whether temporary or permanent, have become more immersive, often inviting visitors to interact with the art and reflect on their own perceptions of creativity and culture. The emotional power of art is now experienced not only through traditional mediums like painting and sculpture, but also through new media and interdisciplinary approaches, making galleries dynamic spaces of innovation. Exhibitions often have their own stories to tell, from solo retrospectives that highlight an artist's personal journey to themed collections that explore a particular social issue or artistic movement. Each exhibition is a narrative unto itself, telling a story not only about the artist and their work, but about the cultural climate in which the work was created. They open windows into the emotional and intellectual currents of their time, offering audiences a chance to understand history, identity, and society through the eyes of the artist. Art galleries also foster connections within the broader art community. They serve as meeting points for artists, curators, collectors, critics, and the public. Through gallery exhibitions, artists can introduce their work to the world, critics can offer new perspectives, and the public can engage with works that challenge, provoke, and inspire. Galleries and their exhibitions often become a mirror of society, reflecting both its finest achievements and its deepest anxieties. An art gallery is thus a living, breathing space where stories unfold, each exhibition a unique chapter in the broader narrative of human expression. It is a place of discovery, of connection, and of transformation, where art is experienced not just as a passive viewing experience, but as an active dialogue between the work, the artist, and the audience. Whether through the shock of the new or the comfort of the familiar, art galleries continue to shape the way we see and understand the world around us. Number 3, events and experiences. Events and experiences are often the most immersive ways to engage with art, culture, and communities. They transcend the traditional boundaries of passive observation and offer opportunities for active participation, transformation, and connection. These occasions have evolved significantly over the centuries, reflecting changes in society, technology, and the way we interact with the world. The concept of events has deep roots, especially in the cultural and social spheres. From ancient festivals dedicated to gods or historical events to the grand theatrical performances of the Renaissance, humans have long sought ways to bring people together in celebration, reflection, or collective experience. These gatherings, whether spiritual, social, or artistic, became essential components of community life, shaping cultural identity and shared memory. In these early times, events were often the only means through which individuals could experience the extraordinary, whether through storytelling, music, dance, or rituals that defined their societies. As civilizations evolved, so did the nature of events and experiences. In the modern era, particularly in the 19th and 20th centuries, events began to shift toward more structured forms, including fairs, concerts, and exhibitions, each with a specific focus and purpose. The rise of technology in the 20th century only enhanced the scope of what could be experienced, leading to the birth of immersive entertainment such as cinema, theater, and later, digital experiences. Events now could combine visual, auditory, and even physical interaction, offering something far beyond traditional performance or display. In contemporary times, the line between events and experiences has become increasingly blurred. Where once an event was simply something scheduled to happen at a particular time and place, now events are often created to offer a deeper, more transformative experience for participants. Modern events encompass everything from large-scale festivals celebrating art, music, and food, to more intimate, tailored gatherings that focus on a specific niche or interest. From immersive theater productions where the audience becomes part of the narrative, to interactive art installations that engage visitors in creating the work itself, the idea of experience has shifted dramatically. The rise of the experience economy has also played a significant role in shaping events. In today's world, people are increasingly seeking not just material goods, but experiences that allow them to connect with others, with art, or with themselves in profound ways. This shift has led to the proliferation of themed events, such as pop-up art galleries, immersive escape rooms, horror-themed experiences, and interactive exhibitions that challenge visitors to engage actively rather than passively observe. These events are designed to break down the barriers between spectator and performer, creating a shared space where everyone participates in shaping the outcome. Additionally, events and experiences often extend beyond entertainment into the realm of learning and growth. Workshops, retreats, and educational seminars provide opportunities for personal development, professional skill building, or simply exploring a new passion or interest. Whether through hands-on creation, guided exploration, or thought-provoking discussions, these experiences allow participants to leave with something more than just a memory. They leave with new knowledge or a newfound sense of self. Some events have even become deeply entwined with the cultural zeitgeist, creating spaces where individuals can explore societal issues and express personal or collective identities. Events like pride parades, film festivals, and cultural celebrations can often feel like both a personal and communal journey, where people come together to share stories, raise awareness, and create a sense of belonging. These experiences are about more than just attending. They're about contributing, connecting, and actively participating in something greater. In recent years, the concept of events has become even more dynamic, with virtual experiences becoming increasingly common. From virtual reality (VR) exhibits to live-stream performances and online workshops, technology has allowed people to experience events and moments that transcend geographic boundaries. These digital experiences offer unique advantages, bringing together audiences who may otherwise never have had the opportunity to connect with specific events. They can also offer more accessible and diverse experiences for those who might have physical or logistical barriers preventing them from attending in person. Whether in person or virtual, the events and experiences of today are designed to be transformative, to be felt and remembered. They represent more than just a moment in time. They create lasting impressions, provoke thought, spark creativity, and foster deeper connections between people and the world around them. Through shared experiences, people are empowered to explore new perspectives, challenge old ideas, and even create new traditions. As society continues to evolve, events and experiences will undoubtedly continue to shape our culture, connecting us to the world, to each other, and to ourselves in ways we may never have imagined before. Number 4. Books and literature. Books and literature have always held a special place in human history, acting as vessels of knowledge, creativity, and emotion. From the earliest forms of written communication, such as cave paintings and cuneiform tablets, to the modern digital age, books have been an essential means by which humans preserve, share, and evolve their stories, ideas, and cultures. Literature, in its many forms, serves as a bridge between the past and the present, connecting generations and societies, while also shaping the future. The history of books begins long before the printing press, with ancient civilizations using clay, papyrus, and parchment to record everything from religious texts to historical events. In ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Greece, books were rare and precious objects, often only available to the elite. The written word was seen as powerful and sacred, with the transmission of knowledge carefully guarded. In the early days, the act of writing itself was a labor-intensive process, with scribes painstakingly copying manuscripts by hand. As a result, books were expensive and not widely accessible, but they remained one of the most powerful tools for preserving knowledge, spreading ideas, and maintaining culture. The invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg in the mid-15th century revolutionized the world of books. For the first time, books could be produced in large numbers, making them more affordable and accessible to a broader audience. This democratization of knowledge paved the way for the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, and countless other cultural and intellectual movements. The rise of print culture allowed for the widespread dissemination of literature, ranging from religious texts to philosophical works, scientific discoveries, and, of course, works of fiction and poetry. This shift marked the beginning of an era where books were no longer the preserve of the rich and powerful, but were available to anyone with the desire to read and learn. Throughout the centuries, literature has served as a mirror to society, reflecting its values, struggles, and aspirations. In the 19th century, the novel emerged as one of the most popular and influential forms of literature, with authors like Charles Dickens, Leo Tolstoy, and Jane Austen creating works that captured the essence of their times. Novels began to explore the complexities of human nature, societal structures, and the individual's place within them. These works delved into themes such as love, morality, class, and the human condition, offering readers both entertainment and a deeper understanding of the world around them. The 20th century brought about new movements and genres in literature, with writers exploring new forms of storytelling and experimenting with structure, language, and narrative. Modernism, with authors like James Joyce and Virginia Woolf, challenged traditional notions of storytelling, delving into the inner workings of the human mind and exploring fragmented, nonlinear narratives. Meanwhile, writers like Franz Kafka and George Orwell began to grapple with the darker aspects of society, political power, and the human experience, creating works that questioned authority, autonomy, and truth itself. Literature, however, is not confined to the realms of the novel or the essay. Poetry has long been an essential form of expression, offering a unique way to convey deep emotion and abstract ideas. Poets have used meter, rhyme, and imagery to distill the complexities of the human experience into a few carefully chosen words, often using language in ways that challenge readers to think beyond the surface. From the classical poetry of Homer and Virgil to the modern verses of Sylvia Plath and Pablo Neruda, poetry has been a means of capturing the ineffable, those feelings and thoughts that are difficult to articulate in prose. In addition to novels, poetry, and essays, books have also served as a means of recording history, philosophy, science, and other intellectual pursuits. Philosophical texts have shaped human thought for centuries, with writers like Plato, Aristotle, and Immanuel Kant laying the groundwork for modern Western thought. Scientific treatises such as Darwin's On the Origin of Species or Einstein's work on relativity have altered the way we understand the world and our place within it. In this way, books have not only entertained and inspired, but have also expanded the boundaries of human knowledge, reshaping the course of civilization. In the contemporary world, books remain as significant as ever, though the form in which they are consumed is changing. Ebooks and audiobooks have made literature even more accessible, offering new ways for readers to engage with stories and ideas. The advent of self-publishing has given rise to a diverse range of voices, democratizing literature even further and allowing more authors to share their work with a global audience. Today's literature continues to push boundaries, exploring new themes like technology's role in society, identity, and the intersection of culture and politics. From the rise of speculative fiction and fantasy to the exploration of social justice issues, contemporary books are as varied and influential as any period before. Books and literature, in all their forms, are the stories that bind us together, the ideas that challenge us, and the imagination that fuels our progress. They serve as a repository of human experience, offering insights into the past while also shaping the future. Whether through fiction that transports us to fantastical worlds or nonfiction that educates us about our own, books remain a key part of the human experience, a source of knowledge, inspiration, and reflection. Number 5. Unique gifts and memorabilia. Unique gifts and memorabilia have always held a special place in human culture, serving as tangible expressions of love, memory, and sentimentality. They are not just items, but representations of relationships, moments, and experiences that shape our lives. The concept of giving gifts dates back thousands of years, deeply rooted in human tradition, where objects were exchanged not only to mark special occasions, but also to convey emotions, beliefs, and cultural values. These gifts, whether simple or elaborate, carry meaning far beyond their material value. In ancient times, the exchange of gifts was often a sacred or ceremonial act. Whether in the form of artifacts, jewelry, or handcrafted objects, these gifts often symbolized respect, gratitude, or alliances. For example, in ancient Egypt, jewelry and amulets were given as gifts to ensure protection or to honor gods, while in other ancient cultures, symbolic tokens like coins or ceremonial objects were exchanged to mark rites of passage, such as births, weddings, or the coming of age. As societies developed, so did the concept of giving gifts. During the Middle Ages, gifts were often luxurious, reserved for the wealthy or powerful. Kings and queens would exchange items like gilded mirrors, intricately woven fabrics, and precious stones as gestures of diplomacy or affection. During this time, gifts were not only material possessions, but also conveyed the giver's status and wealth. However, it wasn't just the affluent who gave gifts. Families exchanged simpler but meaningful items that often held great personal value, such as handwritten letters, small trinkets, or crafted goods that reflected the culture of the time. As the world moved into the Renaissance and Enlightenment, the idea of gifts began to evolve further, becoming more personalized. During these periods, the value of knowledge and creativity was increasingly celebrated, and gifts began to take on more thoughtful and artistic forms. Books, paintings, sculptures, and scientific instruments became popular gift choices, symbolizing intellectual and cultural achievement. These gifts represented not just personal affection, but also a desire to impart knowledge or inspire others. The act of gift-giving became a way to express personal taste and sophistication, as well as to share new ideas and innovations. By the Victorian era, the tradition of gift-giving had reached its modern form. This period saw the emergence of specific holidays, like Christmas, as occasions for giving and receiving gifts. The rise of consumer culture also made gifts more accessible, and a thriving market for unique and personalized gifts began to take shape. During this time, souvenir gifts and mementos became popular. Objects like photographs, embroidered handkerchiefs, and lockets were exchanged as tokens of affection, and they began to hold deep sentimental value, often passed down through generations. In the 20th century, with the rise of consumer goods and mass production, unique gifts took on a different meaning. While it became easier to purchase gifts, there was also a growing desire for individuality and personal connection. Memorabilia, items that commemorate a specific event, person, or place, became a significant part of gift-giving culture. People began to collect objects that reminded them of a specific time or experience, like concert tickets, autographed items, movie props, or sports memorabilia. These items, while often mass-produced, held unique personal significance and were treasured for their connection to a memorable moment in time. Today, the world of unique gifts and memorabilia has expanded to include everything from vintage items and custom-made objects to experience-based gifts that offer memories instead of physical possessions. Some of the most cherished gifts today are those that are specifically tailored to the recipient's interests, such as a customized piece of art, a handcrafted heirloom, or a personalized book that reflects a shared memory. With the rise of social media and digital platforms, people are now able to create and share memories in ways that were once unimaginable. Digital memorabilia, such as photos, videos, and virtual experiences, have become an integral part of modern gift-giving culture, providing new ways to commemorate special moments. The beauty of unique gifts and memorabilia lies in their ability to encapsulate a moment in time, creating a lasting connection between giver and receiver. Whether it's a handwritten note that expresses love or a rare artifact that represents an important part of history, these objects transcend their material form and become symbols of the relationship between the people involved. Over time, these gifts become cherished items, woven into the fabric of personal history and often passed down through generations as family treasures. Memorabilia, in particular, serves as a bridge between the past and the present, a way for individuals to hold on to experiences that have had a profound impact on their lives. From collectibles associated with cultural icons to items that symbolize personal milestones, memorabilia provides a tangible connection to moments that might otherwise fade with time. Whether it's an autographed book from a favorite author, a piece of memorabilia from a memorable concert, or a gift received during a significant life event, these objects preserve the emotional essence of the moment and continue to evoke powerful memories long after they are received. In both the past and present, the act of giving unique gifts or collecting memorabilia is a way to forge connections, celebrate milestones, and keep memories alive. They reflect the human desire to hold on to something meaningful, an object that tells a story, preserves a moment, and carries the emotions attached to it for years to come. Number 6. Location. Locations, whether in the context of cities, towns, natural landscapes, or specific addresses, hold immense significance in shaping human experiences, cultures, and histories. They are the backdrop against which our lives unfold, the places where events transpire, and where memories are made. Locations can evoke a deep sense of belonging or alienation, wonder or fear, tranquility or excitement, depending on their nature and context. Over time, they have become more than just physical spaces. They are imbued with meaning, emotion, and personal or collective history. The concept of location has been central to human civilization since the earliest days of human existence. In ancient times, the places where people settled were often determined by the availability of resources like water, fertile land, and natural shelters. Early humans gravitated toward areas where survival was most possible, and these locations became the first foundations for communities. Over time, these settlements evolved into cities, towns, and villages, with their own unique identities shaped by geography, culture, and the interactions of the people who lived there. As civilizations advanced, so did the significance of location. In ancient cities like Rome, Athens, and Babylon, the physical space was intricately tied to the cultural and political structures of the society. Public spaces such as forums, temples, and theaters were not only places for commerce and entertainment, but also for the expression of power, religion, and intellectual exchange. These locations played crucial roles in the life of the community, becoming the heart of social, political, and economic activity. In the Middle Ages, the concept of location shifted as human settlements became more structured around feudal systems. Castles, churches, and town squares served as central points of authority, governance, and religion. Locations were often associated with the ruling class or the church, and these structures were built to reflect the power dynamics of the time. Over time, cities began to grow, and specific locations within them came to represent distinct aspects of life, from markets and guild halls to walls and fortifications. The significance of location evolved even further during the Renaissance and Enlightenment periods, when the exploration of new lands brought new perspectives on the world. The discovery of the Americas and the subsequent colonial expansion expanded the map of known locations and introduced new ways of thinking about space and place. The growth of trade routes, the rise of ports as centers of commerce, and the development of major urban hubs shaped the global movement of people, goods, and ideas, altering both the physical and cultural landscapes of the world. In the modern era, the importance of location has continued to grow, particularly with the development of cities as sprawling metropolises. Locations like London, New York, Paris, and Tokyo became not just physical places, but symbols of economic power, culture, and identity. These cities, with their distinct neighborhoods and landmarks, embody the history and aspirations of the people who live in them. Locations are more than just areas on a map. They are cultural centers, with each corner offering a different facet of life, from vibrant art scenes and historical districts to bustling financial centers and residential communities. The rise of globalization has further complicated the notion of location. With the ability to travel across the globe in a matter of hours and the rise of digital technology allowing people to connect across vast distances, the physicality of location has been both diminished and amplified. In some ways, location has become less important for certain types of human activity, as people can work remotely, access information from anywhere, and communicate instantly. Yet at the same time, location has gained new layers of importance in terms of cultural identity, economic opportunities, and environmental concerns. Natural landscapes also offer unique locations that have profound effects on the human psyche and history. The awe-inspiring beauty of mountains, forests, deserts, and oceans has shaped cultures for centuries. Sacred locations like Mecca, Jerusalem, or the Himalayas hold spiritual significance for millions, drawing pilgrims from around the world. These places are not only seen as geographical features, but as powerful symbols of faith, resilience, and transcendence. The wilderness, often depicted as untamed and wild, has also served as the backdrop for human stories of survival, adventure, and discovery. In contemporary times, the notion of location is increasingly tied to personal experience and memory. People return to their childhood homes, visit the sites of important events, or find new places to escape to or discover. Travel, whether for leisure or for work, has become a major part of modern life, and the way we experience locations can deeply impact our sense of self. For some, visiting a new location offers the thrill of the unfamiliar and the possibility of new experiences. For others, returning to a familiar place can bring comfort and connection to the past. In the realm of art and literature, location plays a critical role in shaping narratives and character development. Writers and artists have long used specific locations to convey deeper meanings, as seen in the works of Charles Dickens, James Joyce, and Franz Kafka, where cities or neighborhoods become characters in their own right, influencing the actions and thoughts of those who inhabit them. The landscape itself, whether urban or natural, is often depicted as a reflection of the inner world of characters, capturing their emotions and struggles through their surroundings. Ultimately, location is far more than just a physical space. It is a part of the human experience, woven into the fabric of our lives, dreams, and identities. Whether it's the bustling streets of a city, the tranquility of a remote village, or the grandeur of a natural wonder, the places we inhabit and visit shape who we are. They define us in ways both visible and invisible, influencing how we live, how we connect, and how we understand the world around us. In every story, place, or experience, there's a thread that connects us, whether through history, memory, or emotion. As we explore these moments, we uncover not just the world around us, but deeper parts of ourselves. Thank you for joining me in this journey. May it inspire new discoveries in your own.